The colder the ground becomes, the closer I get to home. Book 65, Untitled. Part 1, reluctantly. Little by little, he kept walking along the canopy road, destined to deserve what he thought might be footsteps on the concrete or in the side. The wall was spare, and for shrouded intervals, nothing he knew was galactic. Plants were not Cambridge-esque, noisy, or too tough. He wasn't at all that rough. So, walking, a porcupine, a loofah, meters and meters of carnivorous plants, and a woman he bumped into said, "I am to be fed to them." Curious, he puts this in his pipe. It suffers, but smokes well. He takes the woman's hand and bows. Blowing into her grasp, he puts exactly what he'd been thinking. Here comes a tunnel. Run! Now she realized. The man left assuredly, as if to say like this. She waited. The time came. The tiger was sleeping. She was quiet as a feathered cat, moved without jangling or too rapidly sifting the air. For the distance, she darted through the grasses, expertly surviving the shadows and the blades. Way off and without thinking, she turned and crouched. There was a bug on the leaf before her face. She knew it there, but did not see. It blurred as she was looked past it. There was the road down there, going and wishing for a river angrily. There were the idle objects of a dream in a pit. There were the vibrations of it all. She showered her thoughts with sudden but subtle blinks. Then she wept inside, turned and went to sleep. She dreamed a boat at the shore and stowed away for days. At land, she found the sea, then stole food, a blanket, papers, and returned to running. She ate below the stars as everyone else. Why can they not see them? On the 10th night, she began to anticipate familiar trees. Then the hills came and she quickened her heart. She loomed over the gloomy hills as the lonely thrill of happiness. Persistent, she hadn't the goal she'd made. She was more near, more certain of her arrival, more lusted, encapsulating. There was little light at the station. Desolate and pure, she paid the 5 coins. The train arrived on time. "Don't stop," she murmurs in signs. Her mother was kissing her all over. "God, God, how? My God, heaven!" Her mom whispered, crying into her ear. Embraced, she was awestruck. Blank, could not say anything. She did not breathe the air but her mother's awesome voice. Then she spoke. "You did not say," where she creaked, "you did not say that the earth was waterless." The mother did not pull back. Her eyes stayed close tight. "I told you." She did not raise her voice. "I took you to the mountain. The stone flow of white sage and eagle breathed from the riverbed just as you did. We saw that then, but you were little. This is where 2 rivers merge, 2 that were one before." The daughter, as strong as she was, did not know the quarry as did her mom. Welling up, she fell. With one quivering exhalation, she tumbled heavy into the embrace she was given. The world followed through, only a second later, catching up almost insanely, becoming memory or pollution, reluctantly. Clothed hope. She had let go of her daughter, woman now stolen by a warm pulse of bees and taken to the platform of a pomegranate along a silly road somewhere to live in the presence of 5 sacred objects, 5 years. Daughter had power. This was necessary. The girl would live there naked, be naked, unchanged, uncomfortable eventually, and in time laid slowly by the vast grainy imagery of so many toothy plants. Any mother would have been driven to sleep. Bleary and solitary, she had to go on keeping her home. He'd been moving north for scheduled days before he'd realized the stubborn consequence of leaving. Harlequin. He had no friends and little money. He was and was not happy. Hunger came abruptly. This was understandable, as he often lost all thoughts to bats. Late at night, in the cave-like felling of trees, he reminded himself of the city he grew up near. There, in the alleys, he'd first begun walking. Hands in the pockets, breathing, skipping, thinking hard, get lost. This was primarily a sensation of drowning. He was full of doubt, self-contained confidence, and lived uncertainly, playing games severely. This was the phenomenal world. There was a home up ahead. Maybe he'd arrive by morning. A woman lived there, dressed all day in persistent clothing.